Grinnell Capital is a boutique asset management firm based in Park City, Utah.
Good morning. My name is Frank Grinnell. I've been investing in the stock market for over 20 years. It serves as my day job, and most importantly, it is my absolute passion. On Street Views, I offer my daily viewpoint on the stock market in under 7 minutes. I will cover things like the global macroeconomic picture, the mood of the market, company-specific news, secular trends with some actionable sector and stock calls. I hope my insights are useful to you, whether you are a professional money manager or a passionate investor. At Grinnell Capital, we share high-conviction ideas with subscribers, and we actively manage stock and ETF models for financial professionals and their clients, as well as individual investors. For more information, check out our website. Before we get to today's podcast, be sure to hit subscribe. And now, today's Street Views.
Hey, good morning. Hope everybody's having a fantastic holiday season. Wanted to come out real quick. I can't get my image onto the screen, so this is me without my face. But nevertheless, there's an important chart I wanted to bring to your attention today, even though we've been pretty quiet amongst the holidays here. But this QQQ, you can see it right here coming down on a trend line that I drew. Just hit there yesterday. Now this trend line, this is the year-to-date chart, which has been an unmitigated disaster. But if we go back, and it's not a 5-year, see it hit this trend line back here with COVID 2020. But this trend line actually originated 15 years ago, close to 15 years ago, back at the lows of 2009. So this has been a trend line intact for the QQQs for quite a while. And we landed on this thing yesterday. So I would think we are due for probably a bounce. It's been an extremely weak tape. I think I've heard this could be the worst December for the Nasdaq on record. So we'll see, but keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this level as we go into 2023. I have a feeling this will be very significant. And maybe on a brighter note or a more constructive note, looking at Palo Alto Networks, stock trades 14.7 times forward earnings with an E, and people cannot get out of their way trying to sell this thing. I guess tax loss selling and whatever else, but it's at an interesting spot here. I pulled the chart back a little bit, and if you look, it's kind of in no man's land. It had this gap up back in 21, big gap up on earnings strength, and there's really nobody home in this little zone that we're at currently. So maybe this thing has to go down to 133, 4, 5, something like that before you see any kind of bounce to bring these folks back into play. But nevertheless, one I'm looking at, probably nibble on it a little bit, see how it acts. But 14 times earnings, I have a feeling this is going to be probably a mid 20% grower in terms of earnings going forward for the near term. So you maybe have like a 2 peg, so not the worst. It's something to keep an eye on. Other than that, have an awesome Thursday. Good luck out there. One more trading day of the year left. Talk to you potentially tomorrow, definitely next week.
And now for some important disclaimers. This podcast is intended for financial professionals only. Grinnell Capital LLC is a state-registered investment advisor located in Utah. Services offered by Grinnell Capital can only be offered in the states of Utah, Idaho, California, and Texas, where Grinnell Capital is registered or where otherwise legally permitted. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. For additional information about Grinnell Capital, including its services and fees, please review the firm's disclosure statement as set forth on Form ADV and available at no charge at advisor.info.sec.gov. This podcast is provided for informational purposes only. The information contained herein should not be consumed, construed at the provision of personalized advice, and is subject to change without notice. This material should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell any asset or engage in a particular investment strategy. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss, including loss of principal invested, and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. This podcast contains certain forward-looking statements which indicate future possibilities. Actual results may differ materially from the expectations portrayed in such forward-looking statements. As such, there is no guarantee that any views and opinions expressed will come to pass. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of Grinnell Capital LLC as of the date of publication and are subject to change without prior notice. This podcast contains information derived from third-party sources. Although we believe these sources to be reliable, we make no representations as to the accuracy of any information prepared by any unaffiliated third party incorporated herein and take no responsibility. Therefore, this podcast is provided with the understanding that Grinnell Capital is not engaging in rendering legal, accounting, or tax services, and we recommend that you seek out the services of professionals in these aforementioned areas. The principal investment focus of the accelerator model, the strategy, is to achieve long relative and risk-adjusted returns, primarily by investing and trading securities issued by companies that focus on the global information technology, consumer healthcare, industrial, and infrastructure sectors. These sectors are characterized by robust secular growth potential and an abundance of both new and maturing product cycles, a field of competition that creates the potential for relative winners and losers within a subsector or theme, a high degree of revenues and earnings volatility, rapidly changing sentiment and public perception, significant yet unrealized potential for globalization, and superior relative liquidity. Investment in the strategy is speculative and involves a high degree of risk. The second investment model is called the ignition model. The ignition model is an all-exchange traded fund, ETF strategy, with an investment objective similar to the accelerator model. This model seeks to capitalize on long-term growth trends experienced by the market leaders in various areas and sectors. The ignition model will also seek ETF investments based on cyclical forces experienced in the U.S. and the global economy. This model is also designed to have the ability to offer some risk aversion in the event of significant market stress through investments and ETFs designed to take advantage of market volatility. The strategy's performance can be volatile. Grinnell Capital LLC has total trading authority over the strategy. The use of a single manager applying similar trading programs can mean a lack of diversification and consequently higher risk. For more important disclaimers, please visit our website, www.grinnellcapital.com.